View the web browsers.
We'll cover 17 brief topics in this lesson. After you've completed this training, you will be able to use a web browser interface, open and close a web browsing application, configure various settings in a web browser, and navigate the web using a web browser.
To start, click the Next button.
In our first topic, we'll look at the web browser interface. This consists of several elements which perform different functions.
The interface you can see here belongs to the Microsoft Edge web browser application.
We're going to use this browser throughout the lesson, and we'll show you how to open this shortly. In the meantime, let's examine the interface elements in closer detail by clicking on each of the labels on your screen. To help you successfully navigate in your browser, click on the Back button to go to the previous web page, or click on the Next button to navigate to the next web page. At any stage, you can click on the Home icon, and this will navigate you back to the browser's home page. Sometimes you may have more than one web page open in your browser. If this is the case, your browser will display these as separate tabs, enabling you to switch easily between open websites without having to close them down. In our example, we can see 3 tabs representing the open websites in our browser. Alternatively, the Quick Tabs feature is another easy way to find your web page by providing you with a miniature visual overview or a thumbnail of your open tabs. The address bar displays the URL of the current web page open in your browser. URL stands for Uniform Resource Locator, and essentially is a web address which helps the browser find your website on the Internet. You can see the URL for Google in the example on our screen. In addition, you can also type a URL into this field to navigate to another website. As you gain more experience using the Internet, you will visit websites which you will want to return to frequently. You can save these websites in your browser as favorites, which means that you don't have to type the URL into the address bar to access the site. Click on this button to quickly access your existing favorite websites or to add a website to your favorites list. We'll show you how you can use the favorites feature later in the lesson. In the top right corner of your browser window, you'll see 3 buttons which allow you to control how the browser appears on your screen. The first button on the left minimizes your browser to your Windows taskbar, should you need to access another application on your computer. Once you are ready to return to your browser, simply click on the Maximize button, which will restore your window back to a full screen. When you've finished working in your browser, you should click on the Close button to exit your browser.
From time to time, you may wish to change the configuration of your browser to suit your browsing preferences. For example, you may want to clear your browsing history or stop pop-ups from appearing in your browser. You can change these preferences by clicking on the Menu button. Again, we'll look at how to adjust your browser preferences later in this lesson.
In the top right corner.
Now that we've covered the overview of the browser, let's show you how to open Microsoft Edge, one of the most popular browser applications. First, click on the search icon in the taskbar. Then type Edge into the search bar. You should see Microsoft Edge appear below the search results. Click on it. The Microsoft Edge home page will automatically appear on your screen. Now that we know how to open Microsoft Edge, we will see how to close our web browser. Remember from our interface tour, there are 3 buttons that allow you to control the appearance of the application. On this occasion, we're going to click on the third button in the upper right corner to close our browser. Edge then closes, returning us to our desktop.
Now we understand how to open and close our browser. Let's see how we open an URL, or a web page. First of all, we need to click on the address bar. Next, we'll tell the browser which website we want to visit by typing in the website address using your keyboard. In this example, we'll type www.google.com, which is the primary search engine primarily used today. Your website will then appear on screen. On occasions, we may already have a number of web pages open in our browser. Remember that your browser keeps each of these open pages in a tab. Let's explore how we can open a new URL in a new tab. First of all, we need to click on the New Tab button. As before, we're going to click on the address bar. And again, we're going to type in our address, which is www.bing.com. Again, the website will appear on your screen. But the difference here is that the website has opened in a new tab alongside the other websites you had opened previously. Sometimes you may type in a wrong URL, or you may simply change your mind and want to stop the web page from downloading. Let's see how we can do this. We'll try and access a website using the approach we've just covered in the previous topic. Remember, the starting point is to click on the address bar. In this example, we'll type in the web address www.bbc.com using our keyboard. This is the web page which we intend to stop from downloading in our browser. However, on this occasion, we want to stop the website from loading into our browser. To do this, we're going to click on the small red cross to the right of the address bar. Please bear in mind that you can only click this cross while the website is loading. Once the website has loaded into your browser, this cross will disappear and be replaced by a refresh icon. We'll cover refreshing your website in the next topic. Once you have clicked on the red cross, the website will stop downloading and a blank page will appear in your browser window. As well as stopping a web page from downloading, you can also refresh your web page. Remember, websites are updated regularly, so a refresh ensures you have the latest, up-to-date content in your browser. To make sure you are viewing the most up-to-date version of any website, click on the Refresh button in the address bar. Remember that this button replaces the Stop Download cross once the website has fully loaded. Your current website open in your browser will then refresh and display the most up-to-date content. Now we know how to open web pages, let's take a closer look at our browser's home page. Remember, this is the page which will appear when you launch your browser. You can change the settings of your browser's home page. For example, you may want to change the search engine which appears on our home page when it first opens.
To change the settings, first of all click on the menu in the upper right corner. Then click on the Settings option. Next, click on the Start, Home and New Tabs option in the left-hand menu. Then scroll down to the Home button settings. Here you can type the URL of the site that will appear automatically when you open your browser. To make the search engine Google appear as the home page, we will type google.com in the home page field. Once it's done, click on the Save button. From now on, every time you open your browser, the home page will be google.com, or the URL of the website you typed in the home button settings.
Your web browser stores a surprising amount of information connected to your web browsing activities. This includes storing temporary internet files, cookies, your web browsing history, and saved web passwords. As your browser is storing lots of information, it is good housekeeping to regularly clear some of this data, in particularly browsing history, temporary files, cookies, and passwords for security reasons.
Let's take a look at how we can do this. Start by clicking on the menu in the upper right corner. Then click on the Settings option. Click on the Privacy, Search and Services option in the left side menu. On the Clear Browsing Data section, click on the button called Choose What to Clear. A pop-up window will appear. From here, you can choose to delete your browsing history, download history, cookies, and cached images and files. In this example, we will select All Options. Once you have made your choice, click the Delete Now button. We have now deleted all saved information relating to these categories. In this example, we will select All Options. Once you have made your choice, click the Delete Now button. We have now deleted all saved information relating to these categories.
However, remember that your browser is continually adding browsing history, temporary files, cookies, and passwords as you use the Internet. This means that data will quickly accumulate once again in your browser, so you need to carry out this exercise on a regular basis.
You can also change your settings to control the use of cookies when you access websites on the Internet.
A cookie is a small piece of data sent by a website which is stored in your browser. Cookies generally improve your web browsing by remembering your previous visits to a site and your preferences when visiting that site. For example, some websites use cookies to store a password, so you don't have to retype your details when you revisit the site in the future. However, some people may wish to prevent such information being stored in their browsers. And we'll now show you how you can control the use of cookies in your browser and adjust them to your personal preference.
Start by clicking on the menu. Then click on the Settings option. Click on the Privacy, Search and Services option in the left side menu. Here you can choose from 3 levels of tracking prevention: Basic, Balanced and Strict. Balanced is selected as the default. All 3 options block potentially harmful trackers. Basic blocks potentially harmful trackers, but allows most other trackers and those that personalize content and ads. Balanced blocks potentially harmful trackers and trackers from sites you haven't visited. Content and ads will likely be less personalized. Strict blocks potentially harmful trackers and most trackers across sites. Content and ads will likely have minimal personalization. This option blocks the most trackers, but could cause some websites to not behave as expected. For example, a video might not play, or you might not be able to sign in. Make sure Tracking Prevention is set to On, and select the level of tracking prevention that's right for you.
Remember, cookies can enhance your web browsing experience by keeping you logged in to websites and saving personal preferences for activities such as online shopping. However, because cookies can retain usernames and passwords and track online activities, there are privacy concerns.
As well as configuring cookies in your web browser, you can also control pop-ups.
Pop-ups are small internet windows that pop up on your screen and can be useful, annoying, or dangerous. They are often used by advertisers to get your attention or by viruses to trick you into clicking on them. By default, the pop-up blocker is enabled, which means that you won't see any pop-ups in your browser window. Let's see how we can configure and control this feature in our browser to meet our individual preferences.
Start by clicking on the menu. Then click on the Settings option. Click on the Cookies and Site Permissions option on the left side menu. Scroll down to the Pop-ups and Redirects option. Pop-up blocking is effective in preventing websites from automatically opening a new window or tab, or a partial window above your current web page. This feature is turned on by default. Although you can choose to enable or disable this option, we recommend that you leave it enabled for security reasons.
If we choose to allow pop-ups, this means that we could potentially see pop-ups from each and every site we accessed in our browser. Fortunately, we can configure our browser's settings so that pop-ups only appear from certain sites.
To do this, we click on the Add button.
The pop-up blocker settings window will then appear. We need to type in the website addresses which will be allowed to show pop-ups when you access them in your browser. In this example, we're happy for pop-ups to appear when we access the Yahoo website, so we'll type in the website address. Once you've added the website address, we'll click on the Add button. Notice how the yahoo.com website moves automatically into the list of allowed sites.
Now that we have covered the different steps of configuring your web browser according to your personal preferences, we will see how to use it to browse the Internet.
First, we're going to type in the URL into the address bar in your browser. In this example, we'll use www.education.com. Most websites contain hyperlinks. When you click on these links, you'll usually be taken to another web page, or sometimes a different part of the current page. Roll your mouse over any hyperlink and click on it to activate the link to the content. You'll know when you're hovering over a hyperlink as your mouse pointer changes to a hand symbol. Moving around inside your browser is pretty straightforward. Click on the Back button to navigate to the previous web page.
And remember, you can click on the Home icon to return to the home page at any time. Now that we know how to access a web page, let's see how to display a history of websites you have previously visited. Start by clicking on the menu.
A list of all your favourite websites visited today will then be displayed.
Your web browser allows you to control the screen magnification levels.
This feature enables larger font sizes and is particularly useful for people with partial vision or impaired eyesight to read text on screen. Let's see how we can do this. First of all, we need some web content to view, so we'll type a URL into the address bar. We'll use www.education.com again.
Once your website has loaded into our browser, click on the menu. Then click the minus or plus icons to zoom out or in, respectively.
On this occasion, we're going to select 200% zoom. Immediately, your screen is magnified by 200%. Let's see how we add a website to our favourites list. First of all, make sure you have opened up the website which you intend to add to your favourites list.
Then click on the star icon at the right side of the address bar.
A new window will then appear, asking you to name the new favourite website. You can leave in the default name or provide a new name. In this example, we'll change the default name to Web Crawler.
Once you have named your favourite, click the Done button to create a favourite for this web page.
If we now go back to our Favourites window, we'll see that our website, Web Crawler, has been bookmarked and added to the Favourites list in our browser. We'll show you how to access this favourite in the next topic. Now we've added a favourite, let's see how we can remove a bookmarked web page. We'll go back to the Favourites button and click on this to open up our Favourites list. In this example, we want to delete the bookmark to Google, so we'll right-click on this link to open up a drop-down menu. From the drop-down menu, we'll click on Delete. And now we can see that the bookmarked link to Google is immediately removed from our favourites list.
Knowledge check. Practical exercises.
In this lesson, you've learned how to use a web browser interface. Open and close a web browsing application and a URL. Configure various settings in a web browser such as cookies, history, pop-ups, screen magnification, utility bars, and bookmarks, and navigate through a web browser by following hyperlinks, the forward and back button, and directly routing to the home page.